We're going to continue the work here on this Prevost today, but before we do, we got a real serious snowstorm and ice storm coming. Well, we are preparing for a snow and ice storm of great magnitude here in Tennessee. We're going to try and spend some time preparing. We're going to fill a lot of vehicles up with diesel around here. We've got the 4x4 Tahoe. We have George's Jeep over there that if we need it for getting around too. But if we get as much ice and snow as they're talking about, we're going to be in big trouble. We're a little more prepared than most people around here. I'm going to pull the tractor up today, get that filled up with diesel, go get some farm diesel, fill that up, fill the dozer up, fill the backhoe up, any equipment that we might possibly need to run. I've got, if I, in a pinch, I could get diesel out of some of these buses that I've got here too. My semi's full of diesel too. So I got a lot of diesel around. We're set up for solar, but if we get an inch of ice and 5 inches of snow on top of that, the solar panels are going to be useless. These ones on the side of the building, I'll be able to clean off pretty good. I've got a few thousand watts in portable solar panels that I can do. We have natural gas heating fireplace in the apartment that we can use as well. My battery bank, I've got almost 100 kilowatt hours of battery. So if we go on low power conserve mode, we'll be able to get by for a while. And then I've got Lenny as an auxiliary living unit as well. I'm gonna go ahead and winterize him right now though. I'm gonna get all the water out of him so I don't have to, if I need to use his batteries to get by, and I have a Harbor Freight generator on there as well that if I need to use, I can. We've also got George's bus there. We're gonna see about winterizing that for him, because if power goes out, if we lose, he's plugged into grid power, and they're predicting that we're gonna lose grid power right away with the ice storm. So I'm not gonna be able to keep anybody's buses heaters going or anything to stop them from freezing their plumbing and stuff. So we'll see about getting George's winterized. We've got that other George's bus, the H345 over there, also that's gonna need to get winterized in it. Right now we got a couple little tiny space heaters that are going in there just to keep the plumbing and stuff from freezing. But if we lose grid power, we don't want to have that destroy the bus. But we also have generators in that bus. So if we need to run a generator on there to power it, we can, the tractor can plow the snow off from up here, and I can get that bus moved over here, and we can plug the apartment into that if we need to, or live in a bus if we had to. But it is going to be a disaster around here. So like I said, we're going to go fill up all the diesel cans, get all the equipment filled up, make sure the diesel cans and gas cans are full. We've got plenty of food provisions. I've got MREs and all kinds of stuff too if we need it. But if we lose power here for a week or so, like I said, we won't necessarily be affected as much as our neighbors and stuff like that. But I might end up having some neighbors come over here or something too. So got to get prepared. Already got to put the jump pack on the tractor here. Came out to stage it and get it moved up by the shop. I was going to throw the battery charger on it. It's been sitting quite a bit. I just used it a couple weeks ago and it started fine, but it's so cold out. But we'll get to the shop, get that battery on a charger so it's fully charged. Jump start it here. Better do it now than when there's snow everywhere. Keep this thing plugged in and charging in the shop so it's ready to go. That is the best jump start I've ever used. It does 12 volt and 24 volt. That's from Harbor Freight. We've used that thing a lot. It starts buses and all kinds of stuff. We got some ice melt there. That's for our dog. Last time when it was ice on the patio, he had a hard time walking. It's doing the splits. And I got the snow shovel out. I'm gonna send this propane heater that I have home with the kids, so Jonathan and the kids can have power or heat at their house. These things are pretty safe. There's a low oxygen sensor. You still got to use them in a ventilated room, but pinch come to shove, this might help them out. This would be good to keep the garage or something heated. You don't want to have this in a living space, but it is filled with diesel in case we need it. It's ready to go. Okay, back to the Prevost work now. We should have this bus done tomorrow, hopefully, and then get them out of here before the storm. We had to start a bolt down a blind hole that you couldn't really get to, so I put this little contraption together here. And I broke up a neodymium magnet and stuck it up in there so it would hold the bolt. So when we fed it down in, the bolt would stay in there. It worked perfectly. And the magnet actually stayed in there, so nice little effect. The new rotors look beautiful. Let's give you a tour of the bus here. It's really pretty, built by a yacht builder. Her name's Daisy? Yeah. I don't remember how many dogs my grandmother had named Daisy, but she kept naming them all Daisy. That's a great closet space back there.
Sure is. And there's more behind you across from the shower.
It's a nice desk area. Are the floors actually heated? Because my feet are very warm.
Yep, they are.
Did it just click?
Yeah, it clicked. I'm just trying to line it up.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Just needs to get a hair more.
Let's roll it around in there a little bit.
We're doing backwards cooking. Seems to be already reacting. It's already getting that aggressive.
Yeah, just tip it a little bit more. Try rolling it a little. Yeah, I think you're
Ready to go?
ready to go. Get your tool up. Think it's done?
I don't know. It hasn't done its,
Violent thing.
yeah. Maybe the other one was colder.
It must be ready. It's not changing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just roll it in there a couple more times and yeah, it's gotta be there. Pull back out. No. big one that you want here?
I have a big one on it.
Having that liquid nitrogen, it really makes life a lot easier. Even though that bushing didn't go in all the way, it went in 3/4 of the way. Look how pretty the new bushings are. This thing was totally seized before. Got a lot of progress done today. The upper A-arms are in on both sides. Everything's torqued, ready to go. We got the new bushings put on there. So those are done on both sides on the front. So here's the other side. We just got to grease up the upper ball joint on there. And after a test drive, you have to grease it again. So it's going to take 2 grease times. And then we got those bushings put in and down there as well. We got the new rotors on this side, and I've adjusted in the back. There we go. I've adjusted the sensor there for the ABS to the proper distance. So yeah, we got all brand new on there, the new rotors. We got that covered up because we don't have the axle shafts in, and it was raining today. We didn't want to get any moisture in there. But this area back here, this all stayed dry. Everything's good. This side's got the new rotor on too. I haven't adjusted the ABS sensor on this side yet. That will be done. And then we did get that installed yesterday. Finished up on it today with the new relay valve. And then we also, on the back here today, we got all 3 of these airbags installed. So the belt tensioner airbag that's on there, there's one there, and one there, and then one under there. The air fittings were leaking on them. We tried to reuse the push to connects that were on there, and they all ended up leaking. So I had to order 2 new push to connects, and they'll be here first thing in the morning. So this bus should be done and on the road tomorrow, at least for the test drive for sure. Got to get it done before the storm, get them out of here, and they can get down south of Atlanta where they're not going to have the bad weather. We found one of the bolts for the upper A-arm. Apparently they lost it because it was down inside of the frame in there when we were putting that new one on. Filled up the diesel tank on the Mini X as well. Who knows, with all the ice coming, if we're gonna have trees down and stuff, so I can maneuver some trees and stuff with the thumb on there and that kind of stuff. Got about 24 gallons of diesel in those jugs right there, farm diesel, so I can run the generators and everything on the property if we need to, or use it for whatever, but it's extra handy to have some extra diesel on hand. And I got this Blue Eddy power station plugging in and charging too. So just all of these that I got, we'll just keep them fully charged, and if we need them, or we can let the neighbors borrow them or something else. I got solar panels that'll charge them too. If our solar panels on the building get all iced over, I can put some ground deployable panels on these as well. This thing's 2,600 watts of output, so. I'm charging up on my extra little power stations that I have. Each of these hold about 2,000 watt hours. I think this was like 1,750 or something. I got a whole bunch of them, so we're gonna keep them charged up. Well, our little apartment that we live in on the back side of the shop, you know, it's like 700 and something square feet. It's very small, but it's super energy efficient. And with all the solar power that we have here and everything, we're gonna be fine. Again, we have natural gas heat. Hopefully that won't be interrupted with the natural gas. But otherwise, we have mini splits for heat. And like I said, I've got about 100 kilowatt hours of battery storage. So we can go, you know, without any solar input whatsoever, probably 80 hours would be my guess. So I'm not really concerned about anything like that. You know, the fridge, if it's going to be freezing temperatures outside, we're not worried about losing any food. We can disconnect the fridge and keep the food outside in coolers or something. But who knows how bad it's going to be. But the forecast really is not looking good right now. Tennessee is not prepared for this. We don't, you know, our whole county only has like 2 snowplows. So this is going to be a big major event down here. The ice is going to be bad for the power lines too. We have underground power to our building, but it's run on poles almost to our property. So tree branches come down all over the place, and the power lines come down with the heavy weight of the ice as well. We'll see what happens, guys.